Hello, it's Luke from Divine Star, and I just want to make this video real quick just to give you an update on where Divine Star is at, where Divine Voxel Engine is at, and what my plan is for basically the rest of the year. Well, first, I just want to jump real quick into the DV testing. This is basically the next generation of all the Electron tests that I had for Divine Voxel Engine, and I will eventually get it working with infinite world generation and hosting on the server for only people curious about doing all that. But as you can see, I've been working on the jump a little bit. There's a little bit of a acceleration, deceleration when you walk, so it's not instant stopping, starting anymore. It feels a lot smoother. So in that way, just me playing around the last few days has really improved the quality. So hopefully I can continue making that better and then get some actual useful feedback from the community. But honestly, in the process of me doing some heavy changes to the rendering part of the engine, I've broke a few things that I will be fixing and working on, as you can probably see by the AO problem here. But the changes that I made were very much worth it. I'm basically working towards having complete custom substances and mesh data. So you can basically add custom data attributes to the mesh data for certain voxels to change the shader on them and do other cool things like that. So it's a very complicated process. I basically had to break apart and rebuild the whole entire meshing part of the engine, and then reconstruct the whole mesh material side of the engine. But that's basically all done now. So I just need to figure out what's going on with the faces flipping. I'll get there. But yeah. And the next thing I want to show you now is this pixel entity program I'm working on. So I think some people have probably seen this, but this is a entity made out of just cubes here, but they're instanced. So there's actually only one cube here and a bunch of matrices defining the texture and the UV coordinates of it. So I've been basically developing this whole program to animate and build entities pixel by pixel. And this has definitely been a long process, but I have the animation and all that figured out. I'm just working on the whole UI and exporting process into Divine Voxel Engine. So that's why I'm working on the physics improvement and all that, so I can easily bring all the entities in here. The animation is actually kind of neat how you do it. It's you define a node here. Well, first you define a frame, and then you define like the area of the pixels that you want to affect, and then you set the keyframe transition or translation of them. So I'll be going over that more, but that's basically the exciting future of Divine Voxel Engine is me adding entities and eventually particle systems using this. So I'm going to be able to add rain and do all that. It's just a bit of a lengthy process, developing a whole UI on top of everything else I'm doing. So I'm not sure if, like, these are how many libraries I have made in my life so far, at least in TypeScript. The only one here that I think I don't actually use is the DV script, which is something I might just scrap. But even in the plugins here, I have 4 plugins for Divine Voxel Engine. That's Infinite World Generation, Physics, Pixel Entities, and the Player plugin, which just makes it really easy to get a player going. So I am just been very busy cleaning up my InxDB library and my multi-threading library, fixing all the bugs with that. And that's all pretty much taken care of. Alright. Now I just briefly want to talk about where I'm kind of at and where Divine Star is going to be. So I think the last 3 months or so I've kind of worked myself into the ground, so I'm trying to take it a little bit easier. I've kind of went through a few things. Like, I'm fine. No one need to worry about me, but like my cat died and I had almost lethal reaction to cashews, and this job I'm currently at, some people left, so I kind of went from a senior developer to the vice CTO. Kind of cool, but I'm not happy that we have a smaller team now. But there's a lot more responsibility on my shoulders, and I'm okay with that. But there's going to be obviously less time for me to work on all the things Divine Star. But it's still my main project. It's still my love of my life that I'm never going to stop working on. So no need to worry about that. But I think going forward, I'm generally just, if you want to use Divine Voxel Engine, you really have to be competent, and you have to show me that you're competent enough for me to actually care to help, because my time is becoming more and more limited, and I really just don't have time to play technical support for a library made by one person. It's just not realistic. It's not feasible. I don't have the time or energy. The point of me open sourcing Divine Voxel Engine is so people can benefit from what I've learned going on my own game development journey. Not necessarily that I want to make a whole business around having a voxel engine, that now I have to support whatever crap people make with it. That's not my game plan. That's not my idea of what I want Divine Star to be. I want to make my magnum opus psychedelic cool ass thing that it's it's even hard to describe what it's really going to be. And there's a lot that I'm not telling anyone, that I'm just keeping secret, because I just want it to be a big surprise when it all comes out. So the thing with me is that I'm just always kind of just gauging of what is the most important, what is going to actually help me achieve my goals in the long term, and how can I play the game of helping other developers, because I generally do have an interest in that, but also keeping my own life in check, keeping my own mental health in check. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm. So if you're you're just like a teenager and you want to use Divine Voxel Engine, it's probably not the best thing, because it's a bit more difficult to use. It's made by one person. It's not supported by a group or team of people. That's just me being honest, right? It may look really cool from a certain perspective. It may look really stupid and asinine and useless from another one. And it might look professional, and it may look very amateurish from another perspective. So, the very first versions of it were pretty crappy, but it's the most unique JavaScript voxel engine I've ever seen on the market, because it's multi-threading, shared memory is at its core, and complete customization for the substances and the calling, the meshing, and all that. It handles all that. So, there's a lot of good going for it, but at a certain point, I don't want voxel engines to be my life. At my heart, I'm an artist and a musician. I make music. I make drawings. It's just what I prefer to do more. But anyway, that's it. I just want to let you know. If you as a community want to hear from me more, or you want to just hear my voice more, just let me know, and I'll find some avenue to do that. But generally, I think talking is an incredible waste of time. I would rather just show what I got and not waste any of your precious time with anything. And any moment that you give me is greatly appreciated. That's amazing, and I really appreciate any of that. But yeah, so just let me know. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm still really confident about everything. Probably gonna have an update for Dreamspace Infinite in a couple weeks, with all the new updates, and hopefully an entity floating around doing something, and then we'll go from there. Yep. So I guess just let me know. I'm just trying to keep the community up to date with everything, trying to keep everything in balance. I'm a very professional, practical, pragmatic person, and that's just the way I like to live my life. But my art is on a whole different level. It's a little bit eccentric, but at the end of the day, I just pretty down to earth person. But anyway, Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.